Hello, good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to our live discussion of Made for You by Jenna Satterthwaite. For those of you who are new, we are Libronauts. We are a science fiction book club, and we meet monthly, except for November and December. But we meet monthly to read about various sci-fi subgenres. And tonight we have a sci-fi thriller that we're going to be discussing. We do talk spoilers, so if you've not read the book and you don't want to be spoiled, keep that in mind. You might want to just come back later. But tonight I have Jessie of Reading with Jess with me as my co-host. You want to say hello?
Hello. Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I was so excited that you asked. I feel like you asked so long ago and
It was a
now
long
we're
time
here.
ago. Yeah, I was trying to I don't know, plan everything out. Like I have the rest of the year planned already, and some of the people I planned it like months ago. So yeah, I probably won't be quite so early next year, but
I get
alrighty.
it.
Yeah. So for those of us joining in the chat, let us know if you read the book and what your rating was. And while people do that, Jess, do you want to go ahead and give the spoiler-free synopsis?
Yes. I do have the Goodreads site right here because I forgot the main characters' names, but I didn't want to go over that without knowing names. So yeah, this is told in 2 points of view. So you have the past and the present. You have Julia. She is essentially what's called a synth, and she was designed to be Josh, who is the single guy. She was designed to be like his perfect woman, and he is on a dating show, and so they designed her so she can go on a dating show. Very, very, very similar to The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, which I love. I haven't watched that show in quite a while. So that is what you're seeing in the past. You're seeing the journey of Julia meeting Josh, dating Josh while he's dating like 20 other women. And then you have the present timeline where her and Josh are married. They have a kid, which I definitely want to go over that.
Mhm.
And Josh, it seems like they don't have the best marriage. And I think Josh was going on a camping trip or a hiking trip, and something happened, and we don't know where Josh is. And of course, everyone thinks that the wife, who is not really a real woman, she's a synth, which is frowned upon in the world. They all think that she's the one that has something to do with Josh's disappearance or something. So,
Mhm.
very, very, I don't know. Like, as soon as I read the synopsis, like, this is the one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started telling Jess backstage that I feel like my lighting is very orange. I don't know if it's because of the background color, but I look a little
Just
pink.
buy them.
Yeah, exactly. But I was telling Jess backstage that I was pleasantly surprised. And the reason that I said that was because I'm so burnt out on thrillers. Like it takes a lot for a thriller to impress me. And maybe it was the science fiction twist on this one, but I was impressed at, how quickly I read it, how immediately engaged I was in the story. But one thing that I wanted to mention, okay, if you guys have, I'm sure maybe if it's like an ebook, you have it as well. But if you look at her hair on the sides, it looks really strange. It almost looks like flower petals. Like it almost like the veins of the flower petal is kind of what I see. So I wanted to bring that up and see if anybody had any connection, like a symbolic connection as to why that might be, or am I like crazy and just seeing things? But
Yeah,
let me,
I never noticed that until you just said something.
yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah. Huh.
So I'm just curious, like why they chose to do it that way.
That is so odd.
I love this cover though, honestly.
Yeah, it's very eye catching.
Yes. Yep. Hello, Jules. Welcome. Oh, I'm so glad it's your first time. Yay. Hey, Sam. Everyone's saying hi. Hello, Tammy. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Hello, Corinna. Yay! First time here. Awesome. Hit me up if you do any more sci-fi thrillers. I loved this one. Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I actually decided to pick up a past book club pick because I was like, maybe I do like a little bit. So I went off the deep end and checked out Project Hail Mary. So that's like not a baby step. So I have it from the library. We'll see what happens. So
awesome. Are you doing the audiobook with it?
I plan to.
Okay, good. Like that should be a requirement, honestly. I think you'll enjoy it so much more with the audiobook.
But if I read it and I finish it, I want to go back because I think you did that, February?
That one was January, and then February was the Nightmare Virus, and then March was Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back and like watch that live show.
Yeah. Oh, that was such a good one. I love that one.
I've heard nothing but great things. So
yeah. Hello, Yvette. Racing home, finished earlier today. This is going to be such a good discussion. Yes, I'm very excited.
Yvette, you changed your profile photo. I love it.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I love it too. I love how wavy her hair is.
I know.
Okay, so Corinna gave it a 3.75. Still debating moving it to a 4. Perhaps discussing it will solidify my rating for me. Okay, that's fair. Sam read it. Honestly, she ate it up. I think it may be 5 stars. Awesome. Tammy really enjoyed it. Rated it 4 stars. Yes, I thought her hair was weird too. Kept waiting for an explanation. Okay, so apparently there wasn't one. That's a bummer.
Oh, you know what? You know how like The Bachelor, it's like, will you accept this rose? Because I just saw the rose petals on the back of the book. I bet you that's why.
My gosh, Jessie, I think you might be right. That's perfect. See, I know what The Bachelor is. Obviously, I've heard of it. I've never watched it. So
I loved it, and then COVID happened, and I just like stopped watching TV and started reading books.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I bet you that's what it is because I saw it on the back of the book. It was rose petals. I was like, I bet you it's because of The Bachelor.
That makes so much sense. Duh. Project Hail Mary audiobook was so good.
Can't wait to listen.
Jules gave it 4 stars. Awesome. 4 stars for Yvette. The ending really solidified it for me. Okay.
Nice.
Jessie the genius. Indeed.
It just popped in my head.
Love it. No, that's perfect. I'm glad I asked. Alrighty. So obviously with this being a science fiction book club, we're going to focus on the science fiction aspects of this book. So what were some of the things that made this book qualify as science fiction?
Well, Julia, obviously, she's called a synth. So like synthetic women. So that definitely has a thing. I also thought like the rules and regulations kind of reminded me of like Tesla cars and stuff like that. Programming, also weird pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like I have so many questions about that. Like it like kind of explained it, but then it like didn't happen the way it said. And I was like, wait.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I was trying to think of it as, and I don't think any of my discussion questions later ask about this. I don't think.
Not that
we might be able to go over it later, but I guess like the way that I thought of it was she's not necessarily a bot, even though she does obviously have some hardware going on. I saw her as like a human, but she was synthetically made rather than organically made. So like she has parts, but instead of a brain, she has like a computer. That's kind of how I saw it.
Okay, that makes more sense because I saw how they were like they had mentioned like synths kind of helping with like surrogacy and like anyone who's trying to get pregnant. I was like, oh, okay. So when they got married, they decided to like have a surrogate and all this other stuff. And then no, like that's not what happened. I was like, wait, I have so many questions. Like, how did this girl get pregnant with a baby?
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me. Because I guess I was just thinking of her as like a robot the whole time.
Right.
But that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, because they did refer to like bots specifically and kind of like as a separate
Yeah.
being to sense.
Yeah. Agreed.
Let's see. So Joel said, yeah, I could have used a better explanation on the pregnancy.
Yeah, the whole time I'm like, how did this chick get pregnant if she's a robot? Like I was like maybe synth is just like the nicer term for robot, but no, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Because I was like, how I need the birds and the bees talk again, please. Like, how did this happen? But yeah, like I do think like with her specifically with like programming and like the rules and like how she's not able to like harm anyone. But there is that loophole and stuff like that. So like all of those things I had mentioned were definitely sci-fi to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I wondered too, like if the world that this book is set in, like if it's futuristic, because I feel like our technology right now, while we're kind of headed that way, I don't think it's there quite yet.
Yeah.
So it might even be like a little bit in the future.
It didn't seem like too far off in the future, but like it seemed like today just with like synthetic women.
Yeah.
So
So Sam said, yeah, I thought of it like a clone, but computer programming.
okay.
That makes sense. I was actually kind of thinking that too. Like, could you just clone yourself or create a synth of yourself? And then that synth would do all the hard stuff, like
Yeah.
have the baby and, you know, things like that. Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it.
I think she was a bot, though, because it talked about all the stages when she went to see Andy at the end.
I don't remember that part specifically. Yeah. I don't know. The whole time I read it, she was a robot, and now I'm just like, okay, maybe she wasn't a full robot.
Talks about the structure being mechanical on the inside. Okay. And then they added the skin, and even Andy was working on one at the end, and legs were off to the side. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm thinking of like I feel like I've seen it in Grey's Anatomy or something, but some medical show where it's like a heart, but it's a synthetic heart, so it's kind of like a machine with a pump. So like maybe their organs look like that.
Okay. I'm still confused how she got pregnant, but that's okay. We'll call it a magical, because I think wasn't she the first one? Like, because there was the other two, but they weren't able to get pregnant. She was the first one that could like reproduce in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I know that she had donor eggs, but it's like I feel like procreation in a normal human is already so difficult that how would it, I don't know, like you're right, you're making me overthink it, which I didn't do when I was reading it, but I was like, okay, wait, like implantation and like it growing, like how would this
no, from like page 1 when I found out she had a kid, I was like, okay. I'm enjoying the ride, but I need to know, how did you get pregnant? And then the whole time I'm like, so is the baby like half synth, half human, or are they full human? Like
I was kind of wondering about that, but I think probably full human, just because
that's
it's not really like her baby. She's basically a surrogate, and then with the donor egg and Josh's ingredients.
I'm scared.
Yeah, me too. Like a GMO, but for people. That's kind of what I thought of it as. Yeah. They talked about the womb being shown, and there were wires. Ooh, so how is that an environment worthy of growing a fetus? I don't get it now.
And not only that, she like breastfed the baby too. I was like, okay, I have more questions. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I guess I kept like I was telling my husband, he's like, what would Gwen say? Just go for the ride or something. And I was like, yep, you're right.
I love that. It's like, just enjoy it for what it is. Don't overthink it.
I mean, that could be true. The stork.
Yeah. I think it read more like she was a human than a robot, at least for me. Yeah, for me too. But like I said, this discussion is swaying me a little bit. She was just the growing chamber for the baby. Probably vivid because I read that part last night. Oh, yeah. For sure. All right. So kind of a good segue. So how does this book challenge what it means to be human?
So I like wrote answers down so I would not forget because I'm like bad on the spot. So I think what challenges it to me, what it means to be human, is even though things are meant to be perfect, it still has flaws,
Mhm.
just like humans. Sometimes like computers aren't supposed to be perfect. I mean, I work on a computer all day and it's far from perfect. They're also
Mhm.
humans. So I think that also plays into it. I think it also shows the ugly sides that humans show, like hatred towards anything that's different or being unaccepting. So like, I don't know, it just that was probably the toughest question for me to like solidify answers to. So hopefully that made sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I think like you're definitely kind of in the same realm that I was, just thinking
Mhm.
like to be human is to be imperfect. Like
Yeah.
it's not possible for a human to be perfect.
Mhm.
Whereas a synth or a bot, like they are created with the intention of being perfect and having, certain algorithms or certain functions.
Yeah.
So,
And it's so funny because even though she was a synth, I could like she just read very humanish, like her
mhm,
thoughts and her feelings. And I'm just like, is she a synth? Is the plot twist that she's not a synth? She's just like brainwashed a human or something? Maybe
mhm.
that's how she got pregnant. I don't know.
Wait, we
But
have,
yeah, like you said, or like I said, and you said, like, yeah.
yeah. I thought it was interesting. She said weakness is what makes you human. Yes, I even like
Oh,
notated that part too. So like
I
having
forgot she said that.
weaknesses, being imperfect. Yeah. But
Yeah,
then
because
also, go ahead.
oh, I was also going to say it like while she was on the dating show, she's like, what if Josh doesn't pick me? Like, what is my purpose? My purpose is for Josh.
Mhm.
So like if he didn't end up picking her, she was like, what's going to be my purpose after this? And so I
Right.
think that's kind of interesting because like, what if he did pick her? Obviously he does, but like, I don't know. It's like, how is she programmed to handle that?
Right. And didn't she kind of mention too at one point, like, would she just be like deactivated or?
Yeah, like I think she was just going through all the different scenarios of like, all right, well, we don't need you off.
Yeah. It's kind of sad if you think about it that
It
way.
is.
Her dealing with her purpose of life really brought a human aspect for me. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. But then it's like, it kind of makes me wonder too, her ideas and her personality and the way that she is that something that, like, at what point does it switch from being of the creation of Andy and turn into she is her own person with her own thoughts and ideas?
I thought also like seeing the past and the present because like in the present she's like I want to like I'm made for Josh like I want
Mhm,
to spend all my time Josh, but then
mhm,
like in the present like even though Josh is missing she also has that other purpose where she's a mother
mhm.
and she talks about that a little bit too.
Yeah,
So I guess like she kind of grew and shifted some things around like a human.
exactly. You're going to put the ability to feel emotions into something, it makes it human.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. They were also going to repossess her if things didn't work out.
Oh yeah.
Sad. Because, yeah, she was like, she continued to be Wectek's property.
Hmm.
So, so Andy prepared for her to kill Josh and made a clause so they could take her back right away.
Hmm.
Yep. I also kept thinking about how obsessed she was with Josh right off the bat, although there's always one of them every
Yeah.
season. It made sense because she was literally made for that. He was her world. Yeah, I'm like, I'm hidden.
Yeah.
Um, I was thinking that too, like if she wasn't a synth, if she was just like a regular girl,
Hmm.
and she was falling that hard that fast, I'd be like, girl, get a grip.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're like that on the show too. They're like, "I'm gonna marry him." I'm like, "You just shook his hand
Right.
like 2 seconds ago."
That's all she knew, literally. Yep.
Mhm.
All right. So, what is the impact of tech companies like Wectech and what I can't remember the name of the other one, but the one that created like Christy and Crystal. But what is the impact of them being able to create these perfect, lifelike so-called people?
So, I mean, it's 2025, so definitely divided opinions with people. So, like, it talked about how she was getting like death threats and vandalism and things like that. And then I don't think it was mentioned in there as often or at all, but like, there's probably people who are like, oh, they're humans just like us. So there's probably like pros and or people against sense and like people that are trying to be advocates for sense. Also, it kind of like goes into like the discussion like, do synths have rights as individuals? You know what I mean? But also like I think it just like builds this like fear of like the unknown. Like what, like if this continues, what does that mean for our future? You know what I mean? Like this is the future, but like what does the future after that? I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think it takes a lot of trust on the general public's part of these tech companies, because they can say, oh, they have limitations, or they have, what did they call them in the book? It started with a D. I can't remember. I keep wanting to say downers, but that's not it.
I
can't remember. Does anyone in the chat remember? Damper. Thank you, Yvette. So yeah, they can say like they have these limitations, they have these dampers so that they can't harm, they can't do this, they can't do that. But if the tech company is in charge, if they are still controlling them, like they could switch it off at any moment and literally take over the world for their own personal gain, political gain, whatever it may be. So that's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely forgot, but like the whole like political and government. Yeah. Yep.
Indeed. I kept thinking the twist was going to be that someone else was a said, ooh, that would have been cool. That was going to be Josh, Bob, or the neighbor. Oh, I would have liked that twist.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
No, yeah. It's so weird because I feel like we read like two different stories, even though it's one. Because I was like, I'll be reading like the present. I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to get to like the romance part where they're falling in love. And I'd be like, but what happened to Josh? Like he's here. Like what's happening now? So like I kept going back and forth. But like the fact that you mentioned like maybe Josh being one, that would have been really cool.
Yeah. Oh, I want a book like that now. They're creating them for what they think is perfect, so it's giving them power to create them to do whatever they want. Exactly.
Yeah.
Can't wait to talk about the no harm code. I thought Josh was going to be rebuilt and made for her. Oh.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
You guys like these.
Like the plot twist, or like even though she like told him up front that she was a synth, be like, oh, plot twist, you're both synths and you don't know that.
Oh, and like what if he didn't even know it?
Yeah, and he was programmed to kill her from the other company. Dun dun dun.
Guys, we need to write this book now.
I like that.
I do too. I love it, in fact. Okay. I also wish that she had gone full rage mode for like, yeah. Yep. But she had Annalie. Annalie? Was that her daughter's name? She had her daughter to think. Something like that. Something. I think it was Annalie. I just finished this yesterday. You'd think I would remember. But alas. She could write it. Yes, she could. Oh, okay. Does anyone remember? I think this was her. Oh, yeah. It says it right here. Made for You is her debut novel. So we should all write her and tell her that we loved her book and we want more.
Yeah, she could be the Bachelorette.
Yes. Ooh. Oh my gosh. I love it. We're like either humans or a bunch of other synths. This is exciting. I love
that. That would be really cool.
So how do you think the introduction of synths, and you kind of mentioned this a little in the other question, But how do you think the introduction of synths into our current society would go?
Oh, horrible. I mean, like, I don't really talk too much about like controversial topics, but I know in today's world, it would not go well. Like, people talking about Tesla trucks and like, like, or Tesla's anything, but like the Cybertrucks are like atrocious. I have my opinions about that. They're so ugly, but like people don't like those. And then like AI and like ChatGPT, like they're becoming really popular, but also they can be very harmful in other ways too. So yeah, it would not go well. Yep. Not go well.
That, and then also just like, not everybody, obviously, but there are definitely a large population of people in the world who don't like people that aren't like them.
Yep.
And a synth is like essentially the epitome of not like me. So the hate, the discrimination, the like from a political standpoint, trying to prevent synths from having their rights, having their autonomy. Yeah, but I agree. It would go horribly.
Yeah. I think religion, politics, and like just core values and stuff like that, like they would all clash, and like no one would 100% agree on every small detail about it.
Yep. And if they can't protect themselves, then there would be so much crime against them.
Oh yeah.
So much destruction of property. Yeah. That'd be bad. They should make a Made for Me where they recreate Josh for her. Oh, and then she can slap him.
Yeah. Cross the face.
I would like to put it on the record. My very first tab, page 13, in reference to Josh, says, "What an ass." I did not like this man from the beginning.
What an ass.
I think it was like a flashback of an argument that they had, and he's like, she's like, "You didn't tell me about this trip," and he's like, "It's just one day," and she's like, "We need better communication," and he's like, "It's one day," and she's like, "Just tell me, do you still love me?" And he's like, "I'm not answering that," and I'm like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah.
This man needs to leave.
Yeah. Like, I kind of like, it's so weird because you're like, ooh, he's like the Bachelor. He's the one everyone's falling head over heels for. But then like you get like the darker side of him too. So it's like,
Yep. And I mean, let's be honest, like a lot of those women were probably there for the fame. They didn't actually love him. So like so much of that has to be so fake.
Exactly.
So Corinna is with you, Jessie. Don't even want to go there. I'm not down.
No.
Those trucks are stupid looking. Yeah.
I'll never forget. I saw one of those trucks, and it was next to like our big Coliseum in my town. And it was the week of like Comic-Con or something. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Someone like made a Batmobile to take to Comic-Con. And then like later that day, I saw the commercial for the Cybertruck. So I was like, wait, that's actually a thing. And now they're everywhere. They're so ugly.
Yep. Corinna agrees with me. I'm sure those synth ladies would be used for things if, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And unable to protect themselves or anything. The fear of losing jobs to them since they could make them for anything, even entertainment, like Julia was. Yeah. Jules agrees as well. Maybe men would be better if women created them. Yes. Oh, I like that.
Yes, ma'am.
Sam is onto something.
I would back you up on that research.
Yep.
Just think you can like program them from like your book boyfriend. Like, how cool would that be?
Oh my goodness. So only women in these tech companies creating these synth men. Oh, I love it. Oh, we got some comments. It's like stores being taken over with only self-checkout. Look, I love self-checkout, but there are situations where you need a human. Yeah.
Or like when you call.
It's like we're going to be obsolete. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually a great segue to the next question. But in in regards to that, yeah, like it's so frustrating checking out at the grocery store with the self-checkout, and then something happens and it needs to call for help and it's flashing red and you're just standing there waiting because there's like one person and like 20 self-checkout lines and they're just like going around. It takes forever.
It's annoying.
Mhm. That's immediately where my mind went. Yep. Bat boys and
Ooh.
shadow daddies. That's what we want. They tried to charge me $50 to talk to a human at JetBlue when their website was not. Excuse me, you have to pay to talk to a human?
Oh, that's awful.
Oh my gosh.
I will send a carrier pigeon then.
And I get so like snippy when I have to call a company and there's like the automated, like I immediately I'm just like representative.
Yep, that's what Jules just said.
Yep. No, did she? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great minds think alike. Yep.
Oh, I just hit 0 like a bunch of times. It'll take you straight to a rep.
Nice.
So you don't have to use your voice. Yes, ma'am.
Glenn Powell and his fantastic nostrils. That's what Yvette loves about him. I loved that when that was revealed in the sprints the other night. Who didn't you ask this last time? Didn't we clear that up for you, or was that
I
something
haven't
else?
seen him in too many things, but I know he's in the new Top Gun, Twisters, Anyone But You. That's all I know.
Yes. Yep. Anyone But You. That was the one I was thinking of. He's in something else, and I can't remember what it is now.
Yeah, he's in something coming out soon.
Oh, is he? Nice.
Dang.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Yvette. And like, I think I said this in the sprints the other night too. Like to me, he's so basic looking. And so I kept hearing people like all these girls like, oh my gosh, Glenn Powell, blah, blah, blah. And then I started seeing him in movies, especially movies where he plays like such a good guy. And I'm like, okay, because I'm big on personality.
Yeah.
And his personality is amazing. He's got fantastic nostrils, as Yvette pointed out. So I get it. I do.
Oh, I think he's in. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh.
He's in something coming up. And I was like, ooh, yes, Glenn Powell.
I saw a video. I just want to make sure nobody already said this. Okay, I don't think so. But I saw a video on, I think it was Instagram Reels or something. It was this girl's wedding, and she walked out with Glenn Powell, and it was his sister. It was like his sister getting married. And the way he was talking to her, the way he was looking at her, I think he was like getting teary-eyed at how beautiful she was. I'm like, oh my goodness. We need more men like Glenn Powell.
It's funny because I think Sydney Sweeney was his +1 after she broke off her engagement. And I was like, ooh, petite.
They'd be so cute together. Sorry. Not for me. I hit 0 over and over, and it kept taking me back to the beginning. Yeah, I've never tried the 0 trick. I always I do what Jules did and just like yell. Get it together.
Wait, there's a Top Gun 3? What? No. That's what this article says. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, they need to stop. Like I loved the second one, and I had only seen the first one like because everyone wanted me to go see the second one, and I'm like, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
And like I liked it, but like I don't need more.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, I know him, and no, I don't think I was the person that okay. Who was that? That's something I'm like really bad at. Like I get people mixed up, like names and faces, and like I have a girl at work that her name is one thing, but it's similar to an author that's not the same name. And so I keep calling her the wrong name because that's the author's name. Like in emails, you guys, that I'm sending to people. Like, oopsies.
Not you.
Yes, that one I've seen. Isn't that like their bosses? They're trying to get their bosses together because their bosses
yeah. Okay.
To fall in love and get
I remember that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm sorry. I don't keep up with Hollywood. Top Gun 2, Joel. Yeah. Miles Teller in that one too.
Oh, I love Miles
The
Teller.
football on the beach scene. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, Milo.
Um,
Was
I
that
think it's
interesting?
the guy that plays Atlas. I can't remember his name.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Definitely thinking of the wrong guy.
Wait, This Is Us. Oh, just kidding. I was thinking It Ends With Us. My bad.
I wondered when you said Atlas. I was like, oh, there's a lot of.
No, I was thinking It Ends With Us. My bad.
I try zeros all the time.
Mhm.
Not Milo. Okay. Like one of the kids, right? So not the dad, but one of the the brother. Okay.
Okay.
I've also never seen that show, but
Same.
I'm familiar enough with it to, you know.
Mhm.
Anyways, okay. Enough of Glenn Powell's nostrils. Where were we?
Back to science.
So in the
Oh
book,
yeah.
Andy argues that good surgeons are needed and it doesn't matter if they're synths or human. What are your thoughts on synths being in roles like this?
Okay, so like if it gets the job done, that's great. But
Mhm.
also, I think there's a lot of what ifs. There's also people's jobs that could be
Mhm.
on the line. If they were impacted, if computers can do it, and ultimately the safety of others, I believe it's a great idea. However, there's so many consequences and like trial and error. Like I don't know, like if I had to have like open heart surgery, I just don't know if I would want like a computer or a robot. But also like, am I gonna know they're a synth? Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I feel like also like what I don't know won't hurt me, but I feel like ultimately I don't think it's a great idea for surgeons.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I also don't want a doctor going to like chat GBT, like, what does this vein do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so like can't win.
Yeah. Like my concern would be there are certain decisions that would need to be made based on empathy,
Mhm.
based on compassion. Can a synth do that? Are they capable of
Yeah.
making these decisions? Or is it just a body on a table to them?
Hmm.
So like I feel like super easy like general surgeries that could just be done endoscopically, really.
Hmm.
Sure, because don't they almost kind of have robots doing those right now?
Yeah. Like if I break my arm, sure, go ahead and put in a cast or take an x-ray. That's fine.
Yeah,
Don't cut me open though.
right. But like you said too, there is the aspect of then stealing people's jobs. But I think it's more of filling a need, the way
Hmm.
that Andy was referring to it anyways. Like we need more surgeons because there just aren't enough of them or they're not cutting it. Haha.
Hmm.
Pun
But
let's see here. Okay. Science may have made those nostrils. Ooh,
maybe he's a synth.
tea. I will never have enough of Glenn Powell's nostrils, and I will never not notice his nostrils now that
That's the one thing I probably did not look up was his nostrils.
Mhm. They are pretty fantastic though. Like once you know to look, like they're like perfectly symmetrical. Back on track. Indeed. Back on track. If
Yeah.
they're statistically better, I wouldn't hate it. Maybe for war areas. Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. Ideally, there would be no war, but should there be a need for it,
Yeah.
better a synth than a human. Yeah.
That is true.
Mhm. So Corinna makes a good point. Human error, which would
Mhm.
probably almost 100% be eliminated if a synth is doing the job.
True.
So that
But
is
then also like evolution, like there's diseases or other things happen, like who's
Mhm.
updating the sense, like ultimately I guess that would be the cloud. I don't know, like, but still, like, I don't know, like we didn't have, I mean, I hate to bring up the big C word, but we didn't have COVID like 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we had synths walking around and all of a sudden COVID happened, like, are they just going to automatically know what to do? You know, I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah. That does bring up a good point, though, that while they could set them up kind of like Julia was to feel pain, to get fevers, to get sick, they could have their dampers put on to where they are immune to that. And that could be really good in situations where there are, you know, plagues or pandemics. So that we have.
Also, they may, I mean, if they're so smart and they're constantly learning, they could find the cure for cancer, diseases. Yeah.
That is true. Sam, I love that. I mean, I know there are still two sides. Mm-hmm. Oh, like for, I think in regards to the war comment.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We've seen that. Yeah. Like it always makes me think of iRobot, and maybe that's the only one.
Yes, iRobot. I'm like, oh, everyone's gonna have a synth, and then they're all gonna turn against me.
Yeah.
Well, not me. I'll be nice to them, but
I'm nice to my Alexa.
I'm horrible to her, but this is because she only listens to my husband. If I ask her to do anything, she will not listen to me.
Did he prank you and make it so she wouldn't?
No, it's under my Amazon account. I'm the one that purchased her. I'm the one that has her set up. She's linked to my Spotify. But like, I'll be like, I'll say her name. I'll be like, turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. And then I just keep getting louder and more violent. And then he just walks in. He's like, can you turn off the lights, please? And she's like, of course. Oh, I hate her. I keep telling her I'm going to replace her with a GOOGLE device, but she keeps it up. She does want my man, Sam.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, I think we need to ask her some questions. But is it ethical to send the synths off to war if they can feel pain?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Turn that off. We would have to turn that off. I couldn't bear it. What if they break down? Oh no. Yikes. That's a good thing to think about. Like, technology is amazing or can be amazing. It's not always reliable, and that would not be good.
Yeah.
Virus. Someone has to program them so they could have human error there. That's true. Nope. We know they would use them for war before medical aid, though. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Money, war, the good stuff would come later, if at all. Yes, it is.
I love anything Will Smith, so. Yeah. Except Men in Black.
You don't like Men in Black?
I do, but the first movie, them bugs, like, I know they're taking over the world. I keep telling the pest control guy every time he comes by work, I'm like, you know, like, a cockroach try to take over the world. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, have you ever seen Men in Black? Like, it's going to happen. He's like, oh my gosh, no.
My husband is so mean and rude to her, but I am very nice to her. Good. Yeah, you got to be on her good side if something happens. Yeah, I think so.
The other thing is, like, she only turns on one light in the whole house. And then she'll be like, which light? The only light? Like, what do you mean? There's no other option.
Wow.
Oh, she irritates me.
Hey, Maddie. Thanks for joining. Sorry to join late, but man, I love this book. Awesome. Yay. Yeah. What did you rate it? Let us know in the comments. I think you rated it 4.5. Is that what you said in the Discord? Hello, Maddie. Hello. All right. So if you could press a button to become stronger and limit your experience of pain, would you do it? Why or why not?
I forgot about the stronger part. I would love to turn on a button that makes me stronger. So like, as far as pain, like physical pain, no. Mental pain, yes. Because I would love to shut off my overthinking mind from time to time. But physical pain, I just feel like if you turn it off, like like without thinking of it, like why would you want to turn it back on? But then like if something more serious is physically happening to you and you don't feel it or like acknowledge any signs or anything like that could be bigger consequences. So like yes and no. So
yeah, there's definitely good and bad to either side. For me personally, I'm like, yep, do it. Turn it off. I don't want to feel it. I feel like I've experienced enough pain physically and mentally, and I would love to be stronger. Oh, what did Eden, when she was turning Julia's off, she said something about like her being a superhero. What? Okay, yeah, she's like, so she did it. So she, Julia's like, make me strong, Eden. And Eden's like, synthetic skin can self-heal within seconds. That damper's coming off next. You're going to be an effing superhero when we're done. I'm just like, hell yeah. That would be amazing. I would love that. And as far as the obviously physical pain is a good indicator that things can be wrong. I'm like, I don't care. I would go get a scan like once a month if I needed to make sure everything was okay.
yeah, agreed.
But yeah, I'm all for that. Okay, perfect. Yep, 4.5 stars. Yep, Jules would. Oops. Is that even a question? Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely, especially because I have a ton of autoimmune diseases. Oh, that is so rough. But I don't know, man. I don't know what I don't know that I can mess with that kind of stuff. Yeah. Because like, what if it malfunctions and then you just feel really intense pain all the time? That'd be bad. Yikes. Shut off my migraine ASAP. Other stuff, I agree with Jessie. It would depend on the situation. Yeah. But like, could you imagine, like, I don't know, I keep going back to childbirth, like not having to feel that excruciating pain for like literally a full day. Like my oldest just turned 11 yesterday, and I still am like scarred by the 26-hour labor that I had with
Yeah,
it.
I would
Like,
turn it off for that. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
for sure. And then just like the emotional and mental pain of like, there's anxiety and depression, postpartum depression, like, ugh, and how much more effective and efficient and just functional people could be, how they could just really live to their fullest potential if they weren't kind of brought down by physical pain or emotional pain or anything like that.
That could also make us feel less human.
Mm, that's true.
Tables are turning.
I'm actually going through this where they are going to cauterize my back nerves. Oh no, to stop pain. I do have the worry that if something worse happens, I won't realize I'm in pain. Yeah.
Do you have a human doctor?
I wouldn't be opposed. I found my miracle for migraines with the Qulipta. I am telling you, Sam, it's worth looking into. I'm assuming that's a medication. I I get migraines like at least once a month. And I used to have a pill that they would tell me to take like as soon as I felt a migraine coming on. And I don't remember what it was called though. So I wonder if it was that. And it would like within 30 minutes, it would be so much better. But now, like, I don't know. I just kind of push through it. The nausea for me is the worst part. So I do have like anti-nausea pills that I have to take. Um, but it's like it doesn't matter if I take ibuprofen, Excedrin, nothing. It's like I literally just have to wait it out and eventually it goes away. So
That's
yeah,
how it is for me. I have a headache hat that like compresses your head. Oh, it's magical.
does it have a cooling sensation or is it just
Yeah,
pressure?
you can either heat it up or I usually keep it in the freezer if I'm not using it.
Yeah,
It's
coolness
the
would feel
best
so
thing
good.
ever. Although I feel like most of my migraines are like right in the front of my head. And
Okay.
so like when I put it on, like sometimes I feel like I have brain freeze. So it
Yeah.
also causes a different sorts of pain. So
Yeah.
but like I love that thing. I swear by it. Actually, I keep it in the fridge, not the freezer, so it's not as cold.
Yeah. I need to get one of those. That would be
Oh,
a
they're
game
magical.
changer. That is scary, that, yes, very much. That requires me to go to a doctor. Bam! Go to the doctor. I have not had one since Christmas. Oh, good. And I used to get them all the time. So is it a preventative thing? Like you take it all the time, or it's like you feel it, you take it, and it doesn't even really get to migraine level? I'm very curious, and I need to look into that. Oh, she answered it right there. Hello. This is a daily medication. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's like the worst. If they give me good enough drugs before I can hallucinate, it's a Glen Powell synth working on my back.
Oh, I love that for you if that happens.
I second the Qulipta for migraines. Perfect. Oh, hello. I think you're new. Welcome. Thanks for joining. I don't think I saw Brittany before. Okay. Artful Brittany, amazing. It has changed the quality of my life. Yeah, that would be so cool. I have all the ice head packs. They help so much. I did that. I think it was yesterday morning. I was giving my kids their medicine, and instead of taking it with water, they take it with applesauce, and they just have like those little easy squeeze pouches in the fridge. And I had one of them in my hand, and like I was holding it to my temple. Like I had a horrible, horrible headache. I'm like, oh my gosh, that feels so nice. So if I could have one for like my entire head.
Yeah, and plus it like compresses it. Oh, that's the best part.
Oh. My husband just got me a headband that massages my head and also lets me play music or audiobooks.
Oh, the technology.
Yes. I read somewhere when you feel a headache coming on, soak your feet in ice water. Really?
See, I heard to do hot water because it makes all the blood rush down from your head.
Oh.
Like, I saw a TikTok where it's like, fill up your bathtub with as hot water as you could handle, put your feet in there, and like something about like the blood leaving your head, which sounds weird, but
yeah.
I tried it once. It worked, but the head hat.
Yeah. Oh. Just like the ultimate level of self-care. Anytime you get a headache, especially migraines, you're good to go. It's the only medicine that ever did anything for me. Yeah, I will definitely have to look into that. I tried Topamax and it legit made me crazy. No. Qulipta is great. Okay. Hello. I follow you on Instagram, but you also popped up here, recommended, and I really enjoyed this book when I read it last year. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining, Brittany. Glad to have you. I do hot water for my feet and an ice pack for my head for the never-ending migraine. Okay. So that sounds like the magic combination there. So for fans of The Bachelor, what would your reaction be if it came out that one of the contestants was a synth? Like the next season to come on, what would you do? How would you react?
I mean, I would also be like, I don't want to sound like a mean person, but I'd be like, oh, so he didn't want a real woman. He wanted a fake woman. You know what I mean? But it's also like, oh, well, if that's what he's into, that's not for me. I don't know. Like, I feel like everything works out for a reason.
Yeah. I think it would be really good entertainment, especially seeing how all the other contestants would react, very similar to what happened in the book. So it would up the stakes for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I would watch that. That could get me to watch The Bachelor. That would be the first season. Yep. Maddie and I are on the same page. I'd be okay with that, but if they were in my season and made for him, I would clearly feel like
I feel like that would be an unfair advantage. I feel like they knew The Bachelor to a T. Like why would he pick that?
Yeah. Very true. So regarding the ending, be honest. Did you see it coming or were you surprised?
I did not see it coming. I also feel like I kind of saw different endings coming but like I didn't see this one coming at all. Like I was generally surprised. But sorry, my husband just got home. I was generally surprised, but like not like super blown away because I feel like I just kind of like theorized with everything.
Mhm.
So yeah. You brought me ice cream?
Yeah, shit's dripping everywhere.
Oh, nice.
How sweet of you.
That worked, mate. That's awesome.
What a guy.
I know. Butter pecan.
You have your own Glen Powell at home.
His nostrils are beautiful.
I'm glad. So for me, like I was and I wasn't. So I definitely at a certain point was thinking maybe Julia did this, but she doesn't remember doing it. And then at one point, Andy had mentioned something about, and I'm pretty sure I notated it, about okay, how he said that Julia is not online, she can't be hacked, because that was my thinking, and that's on page 151. That was kind of my thinking, like maybe she was hacked, and while she was hacked, she hacked up Josh, but she doesn't remember doing it. Like maybe she blacked out. But then when they said that, I'm like, okay, well maybe not. But then when they were talking about how Josh had only hit her twice, like it was only twice. They kept saying that it was only twice. And like if it had been 3 times, then something bad would have happened. And so then I kind of started to think like, well, maybe there was a 3rd time. But maybe like I just kept thinking she blacked out. So, but when all of this came out, the way that it happened, that part surprised me. That it was Bob and Eden and Julia kind of taking care of it as a team, and then they just wiped her memory. So, and I like that they did that for her, because she even said, she's like, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I knew that I had done that. So, yeah,
I also liked how it turned out, like how the neighbor, was that Bob?
Mm-hmm.
I like how it turned out that he was actually like connected more than just being that weird neighbor, you know, like I love his connection. Like when she found out
he's the grandpa.
Yeah, who he was, what he did, why he did the things.
Yeah. And like I feel like we were set up to hate Bob, but I wasn't buying it, because she was giving Captain, her dog food made from Bob. And I'm like, if you truly think like your neighbor is evil, you probably wouldn't feed your dog with food that he had made. So I wasn't surprised that Bob was actually a good guy, but the fact that he is Annalie's grandpa, I thought was just like the cutest thing. And I felt so bad for him. And then he had to explain it to Julia twice about his daughter and how she died, and she was the egg donor. Okay, I need to scroll back. Let's see.
Oh, brain freeze.
Oh no. Okay, so I also can see that as an unfair advantage. So this is a synth being a contestant in The Bachelor. They have not had life experiences to mold their personality. Yeah, that's true. And it's like, if The Bachelor is like prejudice against synths, then, you know, it wouldn't really affect the outcome, I guess. I was surprised, but also, how did I not think of that? Fair. I love thought-provoking books. This has been so fun. Well, thanks for joining, Corinna. This was fun. I feel like this was, like, I don't know, this was probably one of the more exciting books, probably because it's a thriller, so it was just so fast-paced. And I was so excited because I kept hearing people giving it such high ratings. So
yeah, everyone that was like, I'm reading it for you and Elise. I was like, oh, they're like, I'm loving it. I'm like, yay.
Yay. I thought she killed him, but didn't see them helping her cover it up and then erasing her memory about it all. Yep. Where do you find these men?
Right.
Like Jess's husband? Yeah. No kidding. I didn't see it coming until closer to the end when Andy started getting weirder, but I didn't figure out most of it. Yeah. As soon as she said in the beginning that she couldn't really remember that night, I thought she definitely did it, but someone reset her. Okay. So you were on it. Yvette for the win. Yep. But I had no idea why the whole thing about his sister being the ex was so good. That was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole backstory as to why Julia was created. That was perfect.
Yeah. I started like focusing more on that because like Andy and Josh,
Mm-hmm.
like they just didn't get along, and it just seemed more than just like a jealousy over Julia type of thing.
Yeah. Yep. I had a feeling Julia did something to Josh, but I wasn't expecting so many components to happen to complete the end. Yes. Yep. And I just thought that was so well done, honestly. Like this was one of those books, like it starts as like this little nugget of a story, and then by the end it's like this beautiful tree of craziness and chaos. I loved it. Hit me once, shame on you. Hit me twice, shame on me. Hit me a third time, and they'll never find your body. Ooh, I like it.
I love that.
I do too. Bob, yeah. Aww. And the whole explanation with the baby monitor.
Oh yeah.
He took it so that he could watch over Annalie while Julia was doing what she had to do. And then, like, okay, was anyone else disappointed that the whole ghost story of all the murders that happened on the property didn't like really come to anything? It was just kind of a red herring.
I forgot all about that, but yes, when I was reading that, I was like, "Oh, so we're just going to ignore this?" Okay.
Yeah. Bob feeding him to the dog was my favorite part. Yeah. Once I realized that, I'm like, oh, hey, gotcha. I loved Bob. Yeah. That poor dog, though. Like, I feel bad for the dog. Dog food made from Josh. Yeah, that's true. Not made by Bob, made by Josh.
Bunch.
I was so scared Bob was going to poison the dog. So thankful I was wrong. Me too. I sent 2 Marco Polos last night that just said the dog food. I loved how every small detail was laid out at the end, like the baby monitor. Yes. Yep. And even the rug, because in the beginning, the dog, he was like paying attention to like one part of the rug. And then you later find out like that's kind of where Josh died. So there was probably maybe a little bit of blood or something.
Evidence.
Yes. Yep. Baby monitor part was creepy, but glad it was Bob. Yeah. That's where I was thinking when she was hearing the voice and she went up there and no one was there. That's where I was initially thinking, like, is she being hacked? Like, is somebody messing around with her stuff? I would have loved more about the history of the land and the killings. Yeah. That would have been cool. All right. So one question that I always like to ask is what other books or movies, video games, shows, whatever it may be, would you recommend to people who enjoyed this book?
Sorry. I only came up with books, but we had mentioned like iRobot and stuff like that.
Yep.
I put JP Delaney has 2 books, The Perfect Wife, which is about I actually, let me preference this. I haven't read any of these books, but I know what they're about. So excuse me. I have to take water now because I'm going to choke.
Go ahead. I'll
Okay.
take it.
JP Delaney wrote 2 books. So he has The Perfect Wife, which is about a man who like brings his wife back as like a robot wife in a way. He also wrote another house called The Girl Before. That has more of like a technology home with a little bit of like a romance as well. There's also The Echo Wife by Sarah Gailey. I have not personally read that one, but I know quite a few people liked that one. If you liked like the dating show type of aspect, there's The One by John Mars.
Mhm.
I've heard everyone recommend that one. And then I also have not read this one, but it's The Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. I think this has like dating / reality TV survival type of thing.
Yeah.
So there's my recommendations.
Awesome. Okay. I also have not read any of those. I have heard of the JP Delaney one and the Echo Wife. So those are ones that I'll might potentially pick up. So my recommendations, also all books, The Family Experiment by John Mars.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the same world as The One, but it's like a reality TV show, but instead of like a romance related one, it's raising like virtual babies.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very interesting, very fast paced. So like the shorter chapters that make you keep flipping the page, if that's something that you're into, combined with the reality show and the sci-fi aspects, that's one that you'll probably enjoy. Another would be Annie Bot.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember Sarah Greer or something like that. I can't remember the author, but it's like a pink cover. And that one, she is basically a synth. She's like a robot.
Sierra.
Yeah, Sierra Greer, thank you.
Mhm.
And she was purchased by her husband, and she's basically there to serve his every need. And it's very empowering. So kind of similar in the sense of a woman who's not a real human woman, but she's kind of coming into her own and trying to live life for herself. So if that's something you enjoyed, I would read that. And then my third recommendation would be Baby X by Kira Pykoff. This one takes place in a world where babies are not created via procreation, but they're created basically in a lab. So any cell that you have, like a cheek cell or saliva or whatever, can be manipulated to turn into a sperm or egg cell, and then your cells could be combined to create a baby that way. There's like a whole black market thing because people will steal DNA of celebrities, have it manipulated and turned into a sperm cell, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I'm carrying a celebrity's baby," and then they like blackmail them into, paying child support and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
those would be my recommendations. Those are all fantastic.
I also thought of 2 other movies. There's that new one that just came out called Companion.
Called what?
Companion.
Companion.
Basically, this guy bought a robot girlfriend or whatever. It seems like she's like, hang on, I gotta look it up. It sounds.
That's not the one with Megan Fox, is it?
No. I have seen that. I haven't watched it, excuse me. Companion, if I can spell. It's got Sophie Thrasher and Jack Quaid. It says a weekend getaway at a remote cabin turns into chaos when it's revealed that one of the guests is a subservient android built for human companionship has gone haywire. So he like buys a girlfriend and she goes kind of crazy. And then there's also that one, I think it's called Her. But it's where the guy like, oh yeah, Her, 2013. He like falls in love with like Siri. Like just the voice of Siri.
Okay.
So I haven't personally seen it, but I heard it was good.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear that. My dog, I have him in his crate. Otherwise, he'd be like jumping all over me. And every time he moves, his claws make the loudest noise on the mat. So sorry if you can hear that.
No worries.
So Corinna recommends Westworld and The Bachelor.
Yeah.
I have never seen Westworld. I've seen pictures from it. I don't even think I've seen a Jessie. Yes. Thank you, Yvette. That's what I was thinking of when Jessie was talking about her was Jessie. That's got like Adam Devine and I can't remember that woman's name. She played in The Bridesmaids, but she's like the voice and like she's like a phone like Siri or Alexa, and she like falls in love with him, and oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's so funny. Anyways, I don't really know what Westworld is about, but it does definitely look very futuristic and sci-fi and like, so that's very interesting. I will definitely have to check that out. Corinna, I'm assuming you've seen it. Is it pretty good? Yvette would recommend Barbie. Okay, I like that. Yeah, like the feminist side, female empowerment. I like it. Yes, Jexie was hilarious. Love that one. Barbie's a perfect recommendation. Yes. All right, Jessie. Well, if anyone has final thoughts, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And then we will share our rating. So what did you rate this book?
I rated this book 4 stars. I like ate this book up. It never felt like 5 stars, but like I just like devoured this book. It was so interesting. I loved how it had like sci-fi, thriller, also like romance too. I loved the dual POV, or not dual POV, dual timeline, and just like, even though like I never had full answers like about the pregnancy and how things worked, I still had so much fun like trying to figure it out as I went while trying to figure out what happened to Josh. So yeah, I loved this book. This is probably, I mean, I don't read that much sci-fi, but like this one I would definitely recommend for like even like my thriller. For anyone looking for a thriller, they should read this. Anyone that comes to me is looking for a sci-fi, I would recommend this one. So yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. It's really, really good. Maybe like a 4.5, but I don't do half stars, so I'm sticking with a 4.
Yeah. Awesome. I love that. I am giving it 4.5 stars.
Yay.
Yes. Like I said, I was very impressed with the fact that it was a thriller, and I just usually thrillers don't do it for me. It takes a lot, but very similar to you. I just thought it was so fast paced. I ate it up. I loved the sci-fi stuff. I loved how like all the details came together in the end, and just the dual timelines, just they fed each other so well. And like, I did not want to put the book down. I loved the characters. Like I loved Bob. I loved Eden. I even loved Julia. Like she's probably my least favorite of the main characters that we were meant to like. But I still liked her, and I was rooting for her like the whole time. I'm like, yes, girl.
Yes.
So yeah, 4.5 stars for me.
Yay.
Oops. I kept singing in my head the entire book, the Billie Eilish song. I was what it was made for. Well, that makes it feel so sad and melancholic. They lost me after half of season 2, but season 1 was so good. I hate when shows do that, when the first season is amazing and then they just kind of drop the ball. They are humans that were created, but they can't have babies and stuff. It's great. Okay, interesting. So yeah, Westworld. We'll have to give that a go. Mm-hmm. That's on HBO, right? I think that's where I saw it. HBO or Showtime. Every time I had to stop reading, I couldn't. Yeah. Oh, couldn't wait to pick it back up. I thought you mean like I couldn't stop. Yes, HBO. Okay, perfect. This discussion has 100% moved it up to a 4 for me. Yay! I'm so glad that we could convince you. I love that. I was especially happy with the ending, that she got away with murder and Lars saved her. Oh, Lars! I forgot about Lars. He was the bot at the end that like observed.
Oh yeah.
And he kind of lied, but not really. Like he didn't speak an untruth. He just kind of left out some of the details.
Yeah.
So, I loved that. Go Lars. All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining and for reading along with us. And thank you, Jessie, for being my co-host.
Of course, this was so much fun. You got me to read more sci-fi, so that's a win. And then I'm going to read Project Hail Mary, hopefully. So
I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on that. It's going to be amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Corinna, for joining. Thanks, Yvette. Yes, awesome pick. Jessie picked it. So thank you, Jessie.
You're welcome.
So next month, our book pick is going to be The Ministry of Time. I don't have my copy with me, and the author is escaping me, but all the info, I have it up on Discord, and I'll be posting soon on the Libronauts Instagram. the details for that. So make sure you're following us there and over on the Discord. And next month, the co-host is going to be Hannah of the Teachers TBR, and our live show will be June 3rd, 7 p.m. EST. Goodbye. Thanks for joining. All right, everyone, have a wonderful evening, and we will see you next month.
Bye.